Hi everyone, I'm Sofi and I'm currently at Kechara Forest Retreat, Bentong, Malaysia. And today I'll be doing a sharing on the second of our refuge vows pertaining to the mind, which is hatred and malice intent. Yesterday I shared on envy, which is on the first. And so today I'll be sharing on overcoming hatred and malice intent. Hatred, according to the dictionary, is an intense dislike of something or someone or some place. Hatred is when you feel that the object that had offended you with such intensity that you are not able to overcome that feeling of dislike. So for example, maybe you ate a piece of rotten peach and you suffered some severe bouts of diarrhea that you associate with the peach, and as such develop that hatred towards eating peach. Or maybe in school, the particular schoolmate just kept picking on you on a daily basis, making your life miserable. It humiliates you, shamed you, or simply and then you just dread going to school. And over the time, you develop that intense dislike for that person, and it will develop into hatred, or from hatred then you may feel anger arising too. Or maybe you visited that place and it's not as developed, and the people there are not has not developed that social skill that you expect, and everywhere you go you feel that your senses are being assaulted by rudeness. As the days goes by, you just develop that intense dislike for that place, and you just can't wait to get out of that place and never to go back again. So all this depending on the intensity, that is how much hatred that you will develop. The more intense, and it becomes like really like hatred. So with hatred, the thought arise will usually be with malice intent as well, because it's like a wish to seek revenge, that because you have perceived that you have been wronged, and so as such, if you do not stop that feeling, then you may just develop that wish to revenge back at the particular things that have been, you feel that it's been wrong and that you do not deserve it. Of course, it doesn't mean that you will act on your thoughts, because sometimes we get into like when we are angry, we get into that stage where we think, oh, how am I going to take revenge on that person, or what am I going to do, and all that, and how that person is going to react, and all those things. So it doesn't mean that you actually act on it, but the thing is, as we learn in karma, even from thoughts, karma is formed. So that is why it is very important that we always catch what we think, and to stop all this the karma from forming or continuing forming. And that is why you have to be aware of what you think. The symptom of hatred can show up as anger, as hostility, dislike, aversion, wishing harm or suffering upon another person. With aversion, we habitually resist, we deny, and we avoid unpleasant situations or feelings or circumstances or people that we do not like. We want everything to be pleasant, comfortable, or satisfying. So we always avoid that person who has caused us so much pain, or maybe in direct hatred, and then our anger may just lash out, and it just continues on in a cycle of you find things that builds, and you find more things. It's not only from that person. As this feeling, it can build, and then more things will irritate you, and then you start developing the view that everybody's wrong, and everybody is against you, trying to find mistakes. Find your mistakes and things like that. So that is why it's very important that we have to catch that thoughts, that feeling, and to find a way to let go of this, so that it doesn't build up and it doesn't cause us so much pain and suffering as well. So, and also the thing is, when you have such deep hatred or hatred in you, a lot of times it could develop into physical health problems, you know, like maybe because of the stress of it, you could get like high blood pressure, and then or you could develop like cancer, or maybe some health, mental problems, and oftentimes, you know, because you the feeling builds up in you, and the tendency for you to lash out at others, then other people will keep away from you, so then you end up being lonely as well, and you know, it's not a nice place to be. So that is why in Dharma, you know, we learn a lot of we learn, you know, what is the reason that for our you know, all these feelings, where it comes from and all that. And this is some of the ways that I'm going to share with you that you could actually apply and overcome some of these negative emotions if you apply it. You know, number one, you could realize and recognize how that emotion of hatred and malice, you know, that arise. And why do they arise? Well, no doubt the other person, you know, could be the wrong party, but and they go their way, you know, purposely to hurt you, because that they can, and they may enjoy hurting you too, because then from your reaction they feel some glee or some, you know, pleasure it gives them. But the thing is, from your side, why does it arise? You know, why do you feel that? You know, so usually it will be because it's our pride or our ego that has been hurt. So it's nothing that is how do you that person did not hit you or anything like that. It's just that using words to hurt you. So basically that is what has been hurt, you know, our pride or our ego. So as we know that pride and ego is not a good thing too, so as such we should actually let it go, and don't let the words hurt us, you know. I know that it's easier said than done, but as we practice, you know, letting go, it will get easier. And the good thing of it is, if you can let go of that, you become humbler, and also your mind will become more stable, because then anything unpleasant, you know, then you'll be able to handle it quite well. And then the second one is, look at your enemy with kindness. You know, maybe that person who has been hurting you, or you know, teasing you, or whatever that makes you, you know, angry, or you know, that you develop that hate, that person is could have had a bad life, you know, could have been subjected to the same treatment in his life or her life, and as such, you know, he's or her, she's only acting out what, you know, she knows or he knows, you know. So that way, I mean, if no one has ever told them, then they will continue acting that way, you know. And so that is why we also should look to them with some kindness, because we know that they have some terrible what do you call it, experiences. And if possible, you know, if you could find a suitable time that you could actually approach that person and explain to them, you know, how their behavior are affecting you. And if it doesn't work, you know, maybe you can, if you think that it won't help, maybe you can go through an intermediary, you know, to help to see, maybe, because that way that person will be aware as well, so maybe they would, you know, think about their own behavior. And then there's another point is, we need to also understand the impermanence of the situation. You know, lots of things, you know, like you look back, you know, there's so many situations that has been unpleasant, you know, for us and it's already in the past, you know. So why do we hold the emotions of that situation when it's already in the past? Why do we hold on to it, you know? And why carry the burden of these negativities, you know, when probably that person who has actually done the harm or whatever has already forgotten about it, and they don't even know what you're talking about, you know. So the thing is, don't carry the burden with you. In our practice, actually there is this 8 verses of thought transformation by Geshe Lamrik Kampa, which I find is very good for our daily practice. It's actually the verses, it applies to our daily situation, and we can actually put it into practice. And to it's so comprehensive that it covers all aspects of our daily lives. And if we were to apply this, all our negative emotions that arise, can be overcome. And I'll share the link of this 8 verses of thoughts transformation later on in my page. And our guru, His Eminence, the 25th Semtuku Rinpoche, had advised us to recite it daily, and it will help in our practice. So, and also I'll share with you, this is what was shared to me, by my Dharma brother, and I've always remembered it. It says that there's one young man, who was very angersome. At every little thing it will set him off in anger, and during anger, he'll lash out at other people, and it hurts them. So he met a guru one day, and the guru told him, each time you lash out at people, you feel the anger, put a nail in the board. So it's a piece of board. So each time you had experienced the anger and you lashed out at other people, put a nail in the board. So for initially, you can imagine the board is like growing with nails, and then one day he realized, wow, there's so many nails in it, and the guru has said that each day or each time you did not actually act out your anger, you can pull a nail from the board. So then he started realizing, and he reduced, and he worked on it, being mindful of himself, and then he slowly pull out a nail at each time he did not get angry. And over time, he went back to the guru with the board, without the nails, and he was very, very happy. But the guru just looked at him and said, do you see all the holes that was created by the nails? Those are the effect of your anger, which means that, even though you have learned to control your anger and overcome your anger, the effect of your past anger, it has already affected other people. So that is why it's very important that, we control ourselves and our thoughts and be mindful. So whenever we feel any negative emotions or negative thoughts, why not, just use it to inspire ourselves to be opposite, to do the opposite, to be kinder, and to always think of others, and don't focus so much on ourselves, but focus on others and benefiting them, helping them. So that way, we will not be concentrated on our own, the negative emotions. So as such, I'll leave you with this sharing today, and I'll see if there's any questions. Okay, the question from Yi Yin Teo. What is the difference between dislike and hatred? Dislike, I guess it will be something that is quite mild. It's like something that you do not like. simple as that. You do not like, that it's not favorable to you. But whereas hatred is with such an intensity that it creates that really unhappy emotions within you, that you just have a strong reaction against that thing, whatever that is that you hate. Okay, from Tenzin Jamka. Does training to achieve bodhicitta help? Oh, I would say definitely. After all, bodhicitta is compassion and kindness towards others, how to benefit others. So as such, you would not even be focused on yourself. So whatever feelings, emotions that may arise, you would turn that into helping others, how to benefit others. So definitely, I would say that it will help. And your mind will be so much more at peace. The way I understand it is that let's say if someone were to harm you or hurt you, you will not even feel that but instead you'll be focusing on that person. Why is that person like that, and how can I help him to change, kind of thing. That is to me what bodhicitta is. From Valentina, how to control our anger, because when we are angry it is more challenging to control our action. Yes, definitely. When we are angry, we tend to be locked in that moment. It's that anger, it just keeps building and building, and we keep thinking of that situation that makes us angry, and then we just keep building on it. It's not only maybe from a minor thing, it just build, and then it's like you keep thinking of other things that happen, and it builds. But the thing is, because if you are in the practice, then you should the moment that you get angry, then you have to catch yourself, catch your thoughts, and then realize that basically it's arising from your own your own pride or ego that has been hurt. So as such, why hang on to it? It's pride and ego is not something that we've been taught that is good. So just understand that, and take a moment of breather, and take a deep breath, calm yourself down, or maybe you just take 5, walk away from the situation, and just calm your mind down first before you go back into whatever situation, and understand that it's only really stemming from our negative points. So that way, I know initially it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be, so it's like just practice and keep practicing until it becomes it becomes easier. And from Pastor Adeline, for a beginner, is there a method to at least control the sense of dislike before it develops into hatred? For beginner, I think there is no such thing as beginner or not, because we are all within that situation where we could find that we get angry. Even as practitioners, we could get angry, but as a beginner, I guess you could always tell the person, to, when they realize that they are in that situation of dislike, to understand why they dislike that thing or that person, and just maybe walk away from it first, take a breather, and so that you can gather your thoughts before you let it develop into hatred. And also that actually you could actually read up some famous people who has gone through a lot, and be inspired by their actions, to understand and to focus out. But this one, let me find some situations that may have examples of it, and then maybe it will be better to share it here. Hello, Typhoon. Okay, from Pastor Shin. If we hate someone and just keep it to ourselves, and we do not have intention to harm them or plan to do anything bad to them, is it still bad, and why? Actually, yes, it is. Because first of all, you'll be carrying that burden of the hate in there, you know. It may be enough, I mean, you may not act on it, but it's in there, and it's if you do not deal with it, it will be forever there, you know. It's a burden to be carried. And if ever, you know, the situation comes and it may just blow up, you know, and become very intense. It may not be with the same person, but you know, maybe if in a situation that you get angry with another person, you know, but the thing is, your hate for this person is there, and you feel it, and you know, it may just explode into that person. So it's always good to just, you know, find ways to get rid of that hate. And for Joy, when we hate something or someone in our hearts, when we do our sadhana and prayers, will we get the blessings of the Buddhas? Why yes and why no? Right. We will always get blessings from the Buddhas, because it is the Buddha's enlightenment, you know, enlightened characteristics. You know, it's their very being that they will bless us. But the thing is, from our part, we may not, the blessings will be there, but the thing is, we may not enjoy it in full, because we'll be always close with that hate, and we're not open to that blessings, to receive that blessings. So as such, you know, it's always better that we were to root out this hate and all the negative things that we have inside us, so that we open ourselves to receive the full blessings, and also we are able to open ourselves to be kinder to others, to help others, and not to focus on ourselves. So then we can, you know, really fully benefit others. Okay, from Tenzin Jamka. It seems if we can see everyone as our mothers, we will reduce our anger. But sometimes it is just so difficult that some people don't change and keeps being annoying or hateful. Hateful. Wait, sorry, I'm just okay. Annoying or hateful. So are we not meant to exercise some wrath to stop them continuing their negative actions? This, well, that's for this, I would say that if you really have the pure intention or motivation to help the other person realize the state that they are in, yes, I would say your wrath, you know, wrath may wake them up to what their actions are, and how they are harmful to others. So the thing is, on your part, check your emotion, check your motivation. Really have that pure motivation to help them, and not be tainted by, you know, other things that you dislike and all that. So yes, it has been known that well, just as parents, you know, teaching their children, sometimes you need to use wrath, you know, so that they would realize, you know, how serious the situation is, and that so that they do not continue on with that negative traits and grow up to harm other people. So yes. Okay, from Chris. What can we do if we want to tell that person who is experiencing dislike, anger, to make them realize that the way they are reacting is not appropriate? Well, depending on that person that you are talking to, but most of all, remember, when you want somebody to listen to you, to from your side, you have to have that good motivation, and also you have to speak kindly. Really, you have to speak kindly to that person, and don't be arrogant. So that is, most of the time we think that we know better. So the way we speak or convey the message, then that person may take it wrongly. So always be mindful of how that person is, and the way that you convey the message. And just as Tenzin Jamkar had mentioned also, if the kind way or the gentle way does not work, maybe then if your motive is pure enough, then you could use rough as a method. So okay, I see that's the only questions here. Alright, okay, so that's it for now. If there's any more question that comes in, I will answer it later. So for now, I will end the session with completion dedication in Tibetan. And thank you for sharing your time with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Yang Gyup Senjo Rinpoche, Ma Ke Pa Nam Ge Shi, Ke Pa Nam Pa Me Pa Yang, Gone Gondo Pe Wa Shu, Toni Towa Rinpoche, Ma Ke Pa Nam Ge Shi, Ke Pa Nam Pa Me Pa Yang, Gone Gondo Pe Wa Shu, Daso Jini Sapa Ge Wadi, Dan Dan Dro Wa Guna Gampada, Jepa Jesu No Santra Pai, Tamping Important to Sa Se Shu, Ke Wa Kuntu Yana Lamadan, Drami Joki Pala No Joji, Sadam Langi Yote Razone, Lohi Changi Ngapa Ngatuso, Ge Wadi, Yududa Lama Sangyo Drione, Driwa Chika Malupa, De Sala Gopa Shu, Jogi Gapo Sungapa, Josu Nampa Pewala, Geki Samasi Wadang, Tunki Malu Sangwasho, Dadam Sungi Dusundan, Drewa Songi Latini, Gewa Losandra Pai, Tampayo Riva, Gyushi, Ni Modele Sendele, Ni Mingunyan Deleshi, Ni Sentato Dele Pel, Kuncho Sungi Jingilo, Kuncho Sungi Ngotruso, Kuncho Sungi Trasi Sho. Jesu Lama Kusen Rapting Ching, Nam Katrini Jojo Ke Padang, Losam Tempe Drome Samsungi, Droe Musatato Gyushi. Gangwe Rawe Koe Shinkam Dem, Bendan Deo Malu Yuene, Cheren Sik, One Ten Sing Get Soy, Shape Shide Padu Den Gyushi. Tompe Ngodro Malupa, Dende Dala Sel Duso, Kodan Dempa Long Chatnam, Kepa Sushik Shukden Sel. Thank you.